Hey everyone, welcome back to Le Mans Ultimate for my first race since the Christmas holidays. After 4 weeks off, I was hoping this GT3 sprint at Imola would be a good way to return, and it did not disappoint. We've got a stacked grid of 32 cars for this one, and I've qualified pretty well in P7, so could a top 5 challenge be on the cards here? Let's get on track and find out. So yeah, it's my first Silver Class GT3 sprint, this one, and also my first race in the BMW. So a race of firsts is underway at Imola. The lights are green. I'm starting on the 4th row alongside CF Arria in another BMW. In fact, 8 of the top 10 are in BMW, so I've chosen the popular car here. And we're all going to need our wits about us coming into T1. 32 cars racing into this first chicane at Imola. It is going to be tight. It is going to be tricky. I've got to leave space because I was too wide with Arria through there. I decided just to lift and give Arria the position. I thought it was better safe than sorry on this opening lap. So I've dropped 1 position. I am down into P8. And behind me now is Surin Brittany. Brittany's had an excellent start from P14 on the grid up into P9 and breathing down my neck as we come in to Tosa for the first time. He's having a sniff up the inside through that hairpin. I possibly should have been a bit more streetwise into that corner and closed off the inside line. As it is though, I've just about held on to P8. Brittany tucking himself back in behind me for now, but concentrating on that move from behind has cost me a couple of tenths to the cars in front. A little bit of a gap opening up to Arria now, 0.6 of a second to the driver in 7th position. Into Acca Minerali for the first time then, and Arria a little bit wide on exit, just throwing up a bit of gravel. Now that will affect his exit speed out of Acca Minerali, so I will close back in. The gap now just 0.3 of a second as we approach this chicane. So yeah, everything nice and tight at the moment. I really do need to keep this top 5 in my sights though. Currently it's Ilna Tukvatulin occupying that 5th position. Balint Measure right behind him in P6, and that is exactly how the pair of them started this race. So as things stand, the only change in the top 8 from where we started is 7th and 8th position. Arria and myself trading positions through that first chicane. So as we approach the end of this opening lap then, I've got to be happy with the way things have gone so far. I've kept it clean, I've stayed out of trouble, I've not picked up any damage, and I've got the top 5 firmly within my sights. And actually it was a pretty clean first lap for the entire field. 32 cars at Imola on track today, and they all made it through this opening lap unscathed. Not one crash. That is really impressive. But returning to what's happening in front of me, Measure in P6 got his line all wrong through that first chicane. It put him under attack from Arria. Arria was trying to get alongside him, but there just wasn't room. As a result, they've closed right back together, and I am breathing down the neck of Arria now. Into Tosa. Arria a little bit wide there, misses the apex. He's out onto the grass, exiting the corner. That is going to cost him some speed. Is this my opportunity? Well, I'm not quite close enough, but it does look like Arria is feeling the pressure. He's out onto the grass again. So Arria looking really ragged here, and in fact he's lost it. Arria has crashed out of P7. Arria into the barrier. That promotes me up into 7th position, and now I'm in hot pursuit of Balint Measure. But yeah, here's a replay of Arria's mistake. He'd already kicked up the gravel a couple of times on this second lap, but it was one time too many, and he hits the barrier hard there. Right, back to the live action. The start of lap 4. I've managed to get right onto the tail of Balint Measure now, and look at the gap that's opened up behind me. Brittany more than 2 seconds back, so I've got no pressure at all in my rearview mirror. I can concentrate fully on the BMW in front of me, and also now a back marker. We're only 4 laps into this race, but already we are lapping drivers here at Imola. Measure has got past him. I'm hoping that I can as well before we get to Villeneuve. I'm going to be a bit offline entering Villeneuve. That is going to make this corner trickier than it already is, but I'm through okay, and I'm still within 0.4 of a second of Measure. Now I definitely feel like I've got a bit more pace than the driver in front, but getting past him is going to be another proposition entirely. However, if I want to keep my hopes of a top 5 finish alive, I am going to have to act soon, because look at how quickly those leading 5 are breaking away now. Tukvatulin, currently in P5, is now more than 4 seconds down the road. So yeah, perhaps my top 5 hopes are slipping away here. Instead, I've got to concentrate on a top 6 battle, and that is what I am currently involved in with Measure. He wasn't particularly smooth through Acca Minerale, however he takes the defensive line on the approach to the chicane just to make sure there's no way through for me. I'm going to tuck right back in behind him here as we begin the approach down to the final 2 turns of this 4th lap. And the pair of us are clearly way quicker than Brudney and the rest of the drivers behind. The gap back to them now is nearly 4 seconds, so yeah, no problem at all in the rear view mirror. And Major a little bit hot into Ravazza 1 there. I'm going to get right on his tail as we come through Ravazza 2. I got a bit too close there. I had to lift. That is going to cost me some exit speed as we come down the start-finish straight to start this 5th lap. But yeah, I'm applying real pressure on Major now. Is he beginning to feel the pressure? Is he going to crack? Or will I be able to make the clean pass? Well, I'm not close enough to do it into T1 here, so instead I'm just going to have to get as close as I possibly can. Can I get a faster exit through this corner? Oh, he's lost it! And I think he's going to take me with him. Can I get past? No, I can't. Can I keep my car facing in the right direction? Yes, I can. But it is going to cost me a bunch of positions. Brudney's got past. Major's actually got back past as well, and now Malcolm Goodwin is going to get past as well. Up the inside into Villeneuve. Big dust cloud ahead. That is Brudney. Brudney runs out into the gravel. He's now back on track, and there's a gap up the inside into Tozer. I'm going to be able to fight right back here and snatch the position back from Malcolm Goodwin. Well, this is suddenly a far more ferocious battle than I was expecting, and it's all down to this mistake from Balint Major through T1. And I thought I'd guessed right by going to his left, but that BMW just snapped back right into my path, and there was nowhere I could go. Well, I was feeling quite safe this time a lap ago, but now I just have a sense of impending doom. This is getting really frisky. Brudney a little bit out of shape going into Acca Minerale there. That opened up a huge gap on the inside for Major to jump into. Major now up into P6. Brudney down to P7. Major going to take the defensive line into this chicane. Now I need to be close enough to pounce if this all goes wrong, but also I want to keep myself far enough back so I don't get collected in any shenanigans. It is a difficult one to call here, but it is really ferocious in front. Major is holding on to this P6 now. Brudney breathing down his neck. Brudney's going to have a look up the inside into Ravazza 1. But no, Major just far enough ahead to hold on to the position. I really do get the sense that this one might end in disaster. We're approaching half race distance now, and we shouldn't forget about Malcolm Goodwin behind me as well. Let's switch on the TV cam just so we can keep one eye on Goodwin's on board. But yeah, things really tight here. P6 to P10 separated by less than 2 seconds. I'm going to pick up a bit of a toe from Brudney here, but I'm not quite close enough to consider launching it up the inside into T1. So I just back off a little bit. I'm going to get a good run out of this chicane. I'm going to close right in on Brudney now. Can I get alongside and make a move up the inside into Villeneuve? Again, not quite close enough. But I really need to get past Brudney as quickly as I possibly can so I can resume that battle for the top 6 with Major. I know I've got a lot more pace than Brudney given how quickly I pulled away from him on the opening laps, but at the moment I'm finding it really difficult to get back past him. And of course that's playing into Goodwin's hands as well. Goodwin just 0.5 of a second behind, and he is in contention as well. And look how much smoother I am than Brudney through there. I'm gaining a lot of time, but there's just no way through. I'm pushed to the outside. There's no way I'm going to be able to make a pass around the outside into Acca Minerale. And Brudney's out wide. He's lost it, has he? No, he's just about managed to hold on to it, but that is my opportunity. A nip up the inside, exit in the corner. That does put me up into P7. Now, can I get to this chicane first? No, I can't. Brudney's up the inside, and he slams the door shut through the chicane. Oh, I just get a little bit loose on exit there. That's going to cost me a bit of speed, and that might invite Malcolm Goodwin to attack. Goodwin now moving up the inside. He is going to have the high ground for Ravazza 1 here. Goodwin could take the position. I could find myself down into P9, and I do. Oh dear, I'm starting to go backwards here. This is not the progress I wanted to make as we approach the end of this 6th lap. And yeah, I really thought I'd finally got past Surin Brudney through Acca Minerale. Then let's go back and take another look at it. He just runs in a bit too hot. Watch him wide on exit, runs out over the curb, almost loses the rear. I nip up the inside, and then just when I thought I had the job done, Brudney dives back up the inside through the chicane, somehow manages to hold on to it and regains the position. Incredible racing here at Imola, and we've still got 8 minutes to go. Into Villeneuve for the 7th time then. Another dust cloud, and it's Brudny again out into the gravel. He's back on track. This is surely my opportunity to get past him. Well, Brudny's going to have the inside through Tosa, but I'm carrying much more momentum around the outside. I should be able to get the job done here, but can I get to the next left-hander in front of Brudny? I've got to go for it here. I've got to get my elbows out. And I know if I can just stay in front of him for a couple of corners, I've certainly got the pace to clear away from him, and it looks like I will do now. So yeah, that is one hurdle cleared. I'm past Brudny and back up into P8. Next on my radar is Malcolm Goodwin, just 0.3 of a second in front. Can I challenge Goodwin and get back up into 7th position? Right, we're going to jump forward a couple of laps to 3/4 race distance, and as you can see, not much has changed. The gap to Goodwin still 0.3 of a second, but no matter how hard I try, I just can't get any closer. I just can't get alongside Goodwin, and I just can't find a way through. It's not through lack of trying. I am really pushing here. However, Goodwin is defending with all he's got, and he is doing a damn fine job of it as well. Goodwin really solid here. I'm not going to be able to find a way through unless I pull something out of the top drawer. Either that or just continue to apply as much pressure as I possibly can and maybe force Goodwin into a mistake. I'm relieved to see the gap growing in the rearview mirror. Brudny in P9 is now 2.3 seconds back, so that's good. No pressure from behind, and Goodwin will have my full attention over this final 4 minutes here at Imola. And I tell you what, Goodwin is far better than me through this chicane. My line just a little bit off there, and look at the advantage Goodwin gains exiting that chicane. He picks up a couple of tenths straight away, and it's going to take me a couple of corners to work that back. Right, jumping forward to lap number 10. I've just about clawed back the time that I lost with that mistake a lap ago. 0.4 of a second is the gap now through this first chicane. And look, a mistake from Goodwin. The first mistake that he's made. He's managed to hold on to it, but now I'm right on his tail. That is a really encouraging sign. Is Goodwin starting to feel the pressure with 3 minutes to go? Well, he's driven pretty flawlessly so far, but are the cracks starting to appear? Well, there's certainly a gap starting to appear up the inside into Tosa. Just for a moment there, I thought about slinging it up the inside, but I wasn't quite close enough. But yeah, I am putting the pressure on Goodwin now. Is Goodwin going to be able to hold on? We're going to have 2.5 laps left of this race. Well, I certainly feel like I'm a lot smoother than Goodwin through this middle section of the track, so if I can just get right on his tail and stay close to him, hopefully I won't lose any ground through the chicane this time. We'll find out very shortly, because that chicane is fast approaching, but as things stand, 0.3 of a second the gap. I've got to get as close as I possibly can, and I have got to nail this upcoming corner. Oh, I might just have taken a bit too much of the curb on the inside. I thought for a moment I was going to get a track cut warning there. I've got away with it, but I am right on the tail of Goodwin, so the job was done there. 0.1 of a second. This is as close as I've ever been. If I can just stay right on his tail through these final 2 corners, I should get a pretty big toe down the start-finish straight. This, I feel, is my opportunity. I'm as close as I've ever been. I'm going to pick up every bit of draft that I possibly can before sweeping out to the left and trying to charge past. I'm going to have the inside line for turn 1. Can I get far enough alongside? Can I get past before we make it to that all-important apex? Well, we're side by side approaching the first turn, and I've got it. I got to the corner first. I've taken that 7th position, and now I can gas it out of the chicane and make a break for it. Well, that overtake was about 3 laps in the making. There are a few more passes more satisfying than this one, I can assure you of that. And fair play to Malcolm Goodwin as well. He was a fantastic adversary there, drove excellently. And as we return to the live action, we're now on the last lap. You can see how much quicker I am than Goodwin, because I've already opened up a 2-second advantage, and I'm closing right in on Major in P6. Unfortunately, I think I just left it a lap or 2 too late getting past Goodwin. Oh, and I just got a bit loose exiting Acca Minerali there. That could have ended in disaster. Well, that is the moment I decided to stop pushing, stop chasing Major. I'm going to settle for P7 here. If only there was one more lap in the race, I definitely could have caught Major and challenged for that P6. But for now, I think it's just a step too far. So I'm going to finish this race where I started it, in P7. But what a fantastic race it's been. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I must admit, I've had a lot of crash fests in Le Mans Ultimate. I've been waiting for a race like this, and I'm delighted to finally get one under my belt. Really good racing from all the guys on this grid. Full credit to all of them. But the checkered flag is out. Major's going to take P6. I'm going to take P7. Right, let's check out the classified results then, and there I am in 7th position. Now, the big question I had before the start of the race was whether I could challenge for a top 5 finish. Well, judging by those fastest laps, no, I couldn't. I needed to be in the 145s to challenge for the top 5. My fastest lap was a 146.4. But yeah, I can't find enough good things to say about this race and the drivers in it. The racing was first class, the battles were intense but clean, and I've come away with a 7th position finish. Really happy with that. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed racing it. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers for now.